Welcome to our weekly podcast. Today we're joining Zhuping at the tea house for a special tea tasting.
So
Here's
today,
part one.
I'm going to show you some the new tea, which is this trip I collected it, which is famous yellow tea in China, named Junshan Yingzhen. Yellow tea, not too much kinds in the world, even in China. Yellow tea, only Chinese knows how to make it. But even inside of China, there are 4 famous yellow tea. Even 4 famous yellow tea now, the only 2 kinds of yellow tea still do the traditional way to make the yellow tea. The other yellow tea, like Hosan Huangya, even Mogang Huangya, those kind of name in Chinese sounds like yellow tea, but in fact they sell in green tea. Yellow tea, why not too much? Because first, the technique, the skill, very hard to make it. Second is time consuming. Like this tea, Junshan Yingzhen, take 72 hours, 3 days to make this tea. The green tea, after I pick, we got to stop the oxidized. So just in a few hours, usually we can finish it how to make a green tea. But the yellow tea take a long time. So, and also for the marketing, people always by the eye to judge the tea's grades. Even in China, people feel greener, the quality is better. In fact, that's wrong. When you to interview some real tea people or tea master, they don't judge the tea by just look the green color. But the marketing, lots of people inside of China, they don't have a chance to education which kind of grades and the color is right of this tea. So they always judge greener is better. So people will think, this tea looks like a little bit of yellow color. Not greener or some other green tea, they will feel maybe old or something wrong. So for the marketing, the lots of producer changed the yellow tea to the green tea. So yellow tea now still keep the traditional way to make. First is the Junshan Yingzhen, then is the Mengding Huangya. Then later I also find the traditional way for the Mogang Huangya, this yellow tea. Hosan Huangya from the Anhui, no one makes the yellow tea anymore. So yellow tea, how to make it? The key is control the oxidized. The green tea is oxidation free. Yellow tea is lightly oxidized. So after oxidized, the fresh tea leaves won't we won't feel sensitive with your stomach for the other green tea. Lots of people after they drink a green tea, especially the new tea drinker drink the green tea, or people who has a stomach problem, when they drink a lot of green tea, they will feel upset, like lashes, lot of feeling. But the yellow tea can avoid this kind of problem. You won't feel too much, because oxidized can change some of the material inside of the tea. So if people want to get the green tea's nutrition, don't want to get too much bother for your stomach, they always like choose the yellow tea. And the yellow tea won't go bitter or the green tea too. So later today we're going to try. But how to do form the oxidized? Usually in Mengding they will use some fabric to pack the tea. After they fried with a hot pan, fried the tea, then use the fabric to pack it, then set on the very warm the stove. Next the stove, it's very warm. Set for a few hours. Then they will fry it again. Then use the fabric pack again. But for Junshan Yingzhen, they will use this local countryside paper. In the beginning, the pan, the temperature can be over the boiling that temperature, very hot. Then they quickly use hand to fry it on the hot pan only for a few minutes. Then the tea become very hot and wet. Then they will put this paper, then wrap it, then put into some the wood box, set there for a while. But during the oxidized, the tea master always go to look the color. Then they got staring, like that. So then they will take a bag to fry it again. Then use the paper wrap again, set there to do the oxidized. So take a long time to make the yellow tea. That's also the reason why the people don't like to do the yellow tea too much. And also not too many, the tea master knows the skill how to make the yellow tea inside of China now. So today we try some. Today you will see the Junshan Yingzhen. I have two kinds of tea, all called the Junshan Yingzhen yellow tea. Junshan is one mountain. This mountain, in fact, is Iceland. It on the inside of the big lake named Dongting Lake. If tea came from that island named Junshan, we call the Junshan tea. Over their tradition is make the Junshan Yingzhen yellow tea. So you say, but Junshan Yingzhen, why has different here? You can say just by look. You will say this the tea bag looks richer, fatter, bigger, but this one looks a little bit skinnier, like that, a little bit smaller, but in fact, for the first feeling feel, this looks better, because it looks like a bud is richer, but in fact that's wrong, because this bush, when you have experience after you saw lots of bush, you can very quickly to tell this bush very similar was the white tea bush. So when I go over there to interview some tea master, I says, what you have? They have 4 kinds of Junshan Yingzhen. Let me choose. I says, then they tell me I had this bush called Fuyi Liu Hao. I had that bush called Da Bai Hao. I had some bush Zhuping, different from the different area, like from Fujian, from the Zhejiang. They moved those bush cultivated in Junshan, because those bush for look is beautiful, popular in the marketing. But I said I want to try the real Junshan's taste. I want to try tea from your local bush. So then they give me this. So this, then he says this. Wow, you are kind of like a professional taste. I said, why I ask this question? Very normal. I just want to try some like I go to Sichuan, I want to try real Sichuan food, right? I don't want to try some Guangdongese food in Sichuan. So I want to try some your real local bush's tea. So he gave me this. Then he says, even for our local people, we never drink from this other bush. We only drink our local bush over there. Because the local bush has a much more deeper taste, has lightly sugar canes sweet taste. But the other bush for look, the tea bud looks better for the shape. And the smell has some flowers fragrance. Because some other bush, I won't say it's bad, but it kind of represent the Junshan this traditional tea's taste, right? So they gave me tried this. Then later I checked. My feeling I like this local bush much better. Local bush, even they don't have name for the local bush, cause it grows there for hundreds of years, right? So they call the group. Cause in the beginning, nobody knows how to cultivate the bush, just cultivate by seeds. So after the generation by the generation, the bush by the different background, the climbing, the change, always change a little bit. It has their own character. So this says in fact we really don't know exactly which land to land my local bush. They just call a group, which means many different kinds.
Please join us next week as we continue this tea tasting with Zhuping. We welcome your questions and comments, so please visit us at 7cups.com and we will answer